All right. Hey, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. It is I, DJ Impact, and we got Sin City Steve, and it would just be us two tonight.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, man. Everyone's getting sick. You know, it's been a little cold in Vegas. I think sometimes if people forget that, because when you think of Vegas, it's always just hot and it's hot. No, we actually get 4 seasons. Now, I will say spring and fall usually only lasts about 2 weeks. It's usually just a winter and then summer. You know, right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like right now, I mean, I think we're technically still in fall, but it's winter weather. You know, I think right now it's in the 40s, you know, so I don't know. But nevertheless, it's cold and everyone's out sick, and we wish everyone to get well. Nevertheless, we're here. And hey, man, just to start off, Sin City, you know, we wasn't here last week. We're celebrating Thanksgiving with our families and all. And the guys put on an impromptu show because of what happened in Survivor Series.
What happened at Survivor Series?
Well, R-Truth showed up.
Oh, that's what it is.
Okay. Wait. Hold up. No, I got it wrong. Damn it. Randy Orton showed up.
Dude, that I remember my news feed just blowing up with that. That was the biggest thing to come out of Survivor Series.
Oh yeah. Fuck. How am I messing this up?
What?
It was the return of CM Punk.
Who?
Listen, because we never gave our thoughts or whatever about this, we heard everybody. I'm just curious. I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, considering that, you know, he started it, he came to AEW, and this was supposed to be really big for the company. And we've had tons of talks about how everything just degraded really quick after, you know, a certain amount of time. And we thought that was pretty much the end. And next thing we know, you know, he's popping up at WWE. What's your thoughts initially?
I mean, honestly, it'd be easy for me to, you know, as the resident AEW guy, to sit here and to, you know, shit can Phil Brooks and CM Punk. I mean, the fact is he's back where he belongs. And that's not meant as a slight. Things didn't really click for CM Punk and AEW. Yeah, there was the novelty, the shock factor, and you know, the value of seeing CM Punk back after so long being out of the public eye in terms of professional wrestling.
Right.
But the fact is that something just didn't gel.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, CM Punk did his thing there, held the AEW World Championship, and is no longer with the company. And according to the internets, he evidently has signed an NDA. So we probably won't hear anything from him concerning those other 3 letters in any promos, which I know that's what a lot of people were looking for. They were looking for the pipe bomb part 2.
Right.
And instead, CM Punk came out and, you know, I'm not saying this is my opinion of it, but a lot of people on the internet looked at his promo as a bit of gaslighting and as a bit of, you know, him eating humble pie and, you know, trying to smooth things over as best that he possibly can, but as best he possibly could. But the fact is, you know, CM Punk belongs in WWE. That's what it is. And if he's going to be in professional wrestling, he should be on that stage. And I have friends that were in the audience at Survivor Series when he showed up and went absolutely fucking mental. That's really what professional wrestling is about, is getting that interaction, that spontaneous reaction that you don't see coming. Whether it's things like Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank at Mania 31 that I was fortunate enough to be there for.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's there are certain core memories.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm glad that the people in Chicago were able to add another core memory by being there and by being live. I just genuinely hope that CM Punk doesn't act as he has in every other promotion where he's been. And that is, burning bridges and, causing a bit of backstage turmoil.
And that's kind of where I'm at with this. I, as excited as everyone is having him back, I'm just kind of on reserve here. I just want to see how it all turns out. I don't want the same drama that I was seeing over at AEW to appear here. And I'd be honest with you, because I didn't really think I would see him back in WWE, but I'm sure a conversation was had that, listen, all that drama you had over there, you can't bring here. First off,
Absolutely.
If you do bring in here, I mean, this is it for you. You're done. I mean,
yeah. Not unless he wants to go to Impact or TNA, and that's not meant as a slight on TNA, but that is the one bridge that CM Punk has left in the entire business.
True. And I tell you one thing, I thought it was interesting as Raw went off the air, and he after his promo, and I don't know how many people saw it because normally we're all conditioned that once you see the little logo pop up to turn it off, but he quickly said, yeah, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
Yep.
Now, the funny thing is that's what we always knew. And by the way, I got a question.
Right.
Yeah. In Sin City, you'd be happy. I did watch, at least I got a chance to watch a little bit of Dynamite, almost all of it.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. But I noticed MJF in his promo did kind of mention the idea of, people out in the company just to kind of make money. It was like a little slight reference. I thought that was maybe towards the other guy over there when that was said. But I think the difference is WWE can, they can handle that because the machine is going to make way more money. Yeah, he'll make his money, but they're going to make tons of more money and have more control than what he thought he could do over at AEW. So yeah, I mean, I guess he gets his wish, but WWE is ultimately going to come out on top no matter if he messed this up or not. I'm hearing, like John put in here, he said he's already the top 3 or 5 merch sellers in WWE. So
he's number 1.
Oh, he's number 1.
He's number 1.
There you go. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, he's number 1 merch seller in the company already.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. And shout out to John here. He also said it's really surprising how Triple H said this came about quickly last minute, thanks to Nick Khan, and we all thought this was a slam dunk deal since he was fired back in September. Minute. You don't think it was last minute?
Fuck no. Now, obviously, there's the whole, corner of the internet that thinks that CM Punk was sent as an undercover operative the entire time from WWE to take AEW down from within. But I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. But just so that you know, that viewpoint is out there.
Yeah, so. I think I did see that come across.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It's fucking hilarious.
It is. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. By chance, did you catch what Raw ratings was this week? I'm assuming they had to be pretty.
I did see that they went up.
Yeah,
I can definitely check for you here.
Yeah, I'm sure that was. And of course, saving him for the end of the show was the best way to do that because it kept.
Oh, it absolutely was.
It kept everybody waiting to see when he was going to come out. So I'm sure, right? Yeah, Raw did a really good job in the ratings there.
Yeah, so it was up 29% over last week.
Okay.
1.88 million viewers.
Okay, yeah, definitely a lot of interest in that.
Key demo was 0.86, which was up 34% from week prior.
Got you. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this all goes. It was exciting looking at Raw. I get a chance to see Raw and SmackDown, and they got a lot to fill in as we got 8 weeks until the Royal Rumble. But I thought Raw did a really good show, despite the fact that you had CM Punk at the end. I thought Randy Orton showing up was is also just an exciting time to have him back, because there's so many different matches that we also can get with that we probably haven't seen. And it was just funny how he just quickly took out Dominic and McDonough, poor McDonough. But but nevertheless, that was a good match to see. I will tell you, if people, one of the matches I thought that probably would have got overlooked on Raw, and it's fair, because one of the bottom line is Ivar is just not a oh boy. Ivar is just one of those sorry about that. For people who don't watch our who listens to the podcast but don't watch us live, all type of comments come through, and so you hear us laughing. It's like, what are they laughing about? American Bam Bam put Steve in his own personal hell right now. All this talk about WWE is about to queue up my own prison creed.
I don't think very much could prompt me to queue up that song.
Right.
Nice try, American Bam Bam.
But so I'm not crazy over Ivar, but the Bronson Reed match and Ivar that match was fire. I got to give props to that. I would have never thought having them have a match together, we would really get something out of it. Two big guys, but you got guys that, when you watch Ivar do the moves he does on top of the ring, and you see how big he goes, it just he takes it to another level, and Bronson Reed's the same way. So having two big guys that do a lot of the moves that we see our 215 guys doing, our 205 guys doing, is quite amazing. So I thought that was really good this past week on Raw. Another quick mention that I want to throw out there is what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. I mean, this guy busted his forehead, headbutting Seth, and the storyline with him is just I'm really liking where all of that is going. I mean, he's yeah. I
mean, we'll talk about it in 3 count, but
yeah,
I don't know how much longer that's gonna last.
I know, but he's still putting in the work.
Yeah,
and still selling it, and
because he's a professional, bro.
Yeah, he is.
And there's no one on the panel tonight to talk shit about Drew McIntyre.
Finally. And I don't know, and I don't know how Michaels does talk shit about him, as if he's not a worker, as if he's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different level of entertainment value to them, and his might not be what we see in Sami Zayn or somebody in Rollins, but his character, which is don't fuck me with me type guy, it works for him. So it's going to be very interesting. But I thought overall Raw did it was a good show from the start of the show to the end. What was your take? I know you didn't get a chance to watch Raw over in AEW, though. Like I said, I did watch a little bit of AEW, and I will, like, in terms of wrestling, like, I never give crap over what AEW does in terms of their wrestling. It's just that I don't get involved. There's no story to a lot of things they put. But like the Mark Briscoe match, I thought that was great. I'm saying, that he had. So again, that was something that was good to see. It was just nothing to get invested in. Or who's the other one? The Top Flight?
Yeah, the Dante Martin, Darius Martin, and Action Andretti.
Yeah, another one.
And yeah, that was the crazy thing that blew my mind. And this, honestly, this was a part of my WTFs initially.
Sure.
And the reason why is for nothing negative whatsoever. But the fact that Dante Martin returned to action after his lower leg injury that happened on March the 31st
Okay.
You know the one where his foot was bent like 90 degrees in the opposite
I
direction where
remember
it should
seeing
have
that.
been.
Yeah.
And then they showed the fucking clip of the injury. Like they showed the clip of the fucking injury and the break
Right.
or
Yes.
dislocation or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? But the mere fact that he's back in the ring 8 months after that happened,
Yeah.
is telling. It was really cool for him to return in his hometown. He and Darius are from Minneapolis, so for them to be able to show up and wrestle in their hometown, I'm sure was huge for those guys. On the other side of that match, you have reports of Matt and Jeff Hardy complaining about their creative usage in AEW, to which I promptly have to ask, realistically, what would you expect AEW to do for the Hardys as a tag team? They are, they're not going to be pushed anymore.
Right.
They, quite frankly, they're going to be in the business of putting over the younger talent, which is exactly what they did on this show. And I know that might be a hard pill to swallow, but that's just the way that it is. And no one can ever take away the accomplishments that those guys have made to the business.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is where they are best used at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. The AEW had a lot of multi-man matches this week, though, dude. A lot. Like, I know you mentioned you saw part of Dynamite.
Yeah.
All of Rampage was a multi-person matches.
Was it? Okay.
So literally the first match was an 8-person tag match, and then the other 3 matches on the show were all 6-person tag matches. So
what is the reason behind that? Just to give people more work or something?
I guess to get more people on the shows, to get them more ring time. I've never been a huge fan of loading a show up with all multi-person tag matches.
Right.
The only exception being the old school Survivor Series where it was elimination style. But these were not elimination style. This just seems, it was, Rampage was a fun hour of TV, but there wasn't anything that was like, holy shit, that was fucking fantastic.
Right.
So
hey, what's your take
they do have trios titles too. Yet those trios titles didn't show up on a show that was all multi-person matches.
Right.
Make it make sense.
What's your take on John's comment here? How about Britt Baker's tweet after Dynamite that blew up? X going into business for herself, airing grievances, or is she being devilish? What's your take on that, man?
As I've said numerous times on this show, the absolute best case scenario for the devil reveal is for the devil to be Britt Baker. So obviously, I could easily see, because that was a heelish tweet. That was something that was out of character for the Britt Baker, the babyface Britt Baker that everybody's so used to seeing.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that, dude, when I saw that tweet, the very first thing that came to my mind was, holy shit, they're gonna do it. And the thing is that really comes to mind is this past week on Dynamite, we saw the devil and his minions attack MJF. Everybody pointed out, oh, the devil's a huge guy. There's no way it's going to be Britt Baker. If you look, the devil has been portrayed by people of varying sizes and statures.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that they're rotating it around. I do have to point out, though, something that was interesting. The segment immediately after that, Wardlow had a squash match, and his hair looked like it had been styled earlier in the day, and then it got really messed up, like it was maybe under a mask. And he fits the description of the person who was playing the devil that night. So, yeah. Is Wardlow part of this faction, especially with his comments that he's going to take everything from Max? I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Interesting. Quickly, just jumping right back over to Raw. I quickly forgot to mention Shinsuke and Cody. That's going to be the next matchup. And let me say, sign me up for that one. Shinsuke has been on fire as a heel. The only thing I wish, and I wish this was just something they did in general, is whenever wrestlers go into heel mode, that they change their music up somewhat, because people still want to sing along to his song, and we don't want to, you don't want your heel, you don't want them singing along with them. Do a chop and screw or something that just it remixes, you kind of keeps the same thing, but you can't really do the singing anymore to it. But
I mean, they tried that once before with his prior heel run, and it worked out pretty well. So I don't know why they didn't just either, remix that or do something similar, just as you're mentioning there.
Because as soon as
that match, by the way, that might get me to tune back into WWE.
Right, exactly. Yes. When I saw the Mist and I saw him come back out and all that, I'm sold on that one. That's exciting. So, but yeah, like I say, after he did the Mist and all that, they played a song, and now people are starting to want to sing along, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's what that's supposed to be. But
no, not at
all. So anyway, I thought I forgot to mention that. I do want to mention it. Go ahead, man. Jump back on.
I was just going to mention, it would be criminal for us to not discuss the AEW Continental Classic.
Yes.
The AEW's version of the G1 Climax tournament from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
This week, you mentioned the Mark Briscoe and Roosh match. Absolutely good stuff there. But elsewhere on Dynamite, and I know that you said that you only saw part of the show.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that you didn't see, quite frankly, one of the best parts of the show, and that was Jay White versus Swerve Strickland in the main event, which was one hell of a match, dude.
I'll go back and watch it. Yeah.
Definitely go back and watch that one. So I'm not going to spoil the match for you, but obviously if people are watching this, they know who won. But seriously, both of these guys had amazing showings in this tournament. And it's a great thing, even for, the loser of this match. It's not a single elimination tournament. So it's a round robin style tournament. So the loser of that match can still win their league and go on to face the winner of the Blue League at World's End. So that's very good. Solid match there. But I'll tell you, dude, Collision was the show this week. If you liked in-ring action, you had Brody King versus Claudio Castagnoli.
Okay.
And that was in the Continental Classic as well.
Okay.
Dude, Claudio actually swung Brody King.
Did he?
He swung Brody King several times. Super impressive. Brody King actually did get the win, though.
Oh, did? Oh, wow. Okay.
Brody King actually beat Claudio. So, Brody King now has 6 points after 2 matches. So he's in great position so far. Daniel Garcia, Andrade El Idolo, they had a really solid match as well. But the real shining moment in this match, or the shining aspect of this match, was Daddy Magic Matt Menard on commentary. I'm telling you right now, after that guy's in-ring career is done, he needs to be a heel color commentator, because, dude, he did it during the pandemic on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation.
Okay.
Dude is so fucking good on commentary. So
he was on the whole show for Collision, or a part of it?
No, just that Daniel Garcia and Andrade match.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, which Andrade did pick up the win. They didn't have him win with the figure 8 this time. Had him get the pinfall, but still.
Yeah.
And then quite probably the best match I saw on AEW TV this week, Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston in the Continental Classic. Dude, it was as advertised, exactly what you would think you would get from these guys. Danielson being the odds-on favorite to win the thing. Kingston, the Ring of Honor World Champion and New Japan Strong Openweight Champion, putting those titles on the line in this tournament. You really had to make both guys look strong, and they did a good job of that. Danielson did pick up the win. It was not by submission. It was in a pinfall in 16 minutes. Quite honestly, I thought that we were going to see our first draw because if the match goes 20 minutes, it's a draw, 1 point to each guy. So we haven't seen one yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Sure. Yeah, I saw that that promo that between those two at on Dynamite. I'm over there looking at first off, I'm looking at Eddie going, man, he's got a belly that looked like mine's. What the hell's going on here?
Right?
What the hell's going on here? But and he looked like he was in no condition to be fighting while he's sitting like that. And then Daniel over here all hyped up and pretty much saying what he's going to do, despite the fact he's got this patch on his eye. And
as John's saying in the chat, Danielson wearing a jock strap on his face that was called an eye patch. Yeah, that's about right. Obviously, Bryan Danielson's still wrestling with the orbital bone fracture. So
got you. Yeah. But it's good to see that match turned out pretty good because it sounded like it from the promo that was going to be a fiery match. So yeah,
it was fire.
I have to definitely go back and check that. Like I'll tell you this, in terms of a SmackDown, as always, great entertainment. It came down to both general managers wanting to sign Randy Orton. I thought that was pretty great to see which way he was going to go on that. And of course, Randy did sign with the SmackDown brand. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be a lot of good matches we'll get out of that. But the most entertaining portion of that entire show, I got to be honest with you, is going to go to a person who Steve, he's growing on me. He's growing on me. Logan Paul. He is growing on me. I'm telling you, he is, dude. First off, you talk about commentary. The things, he's good on the mic. I mean, when you listen to his promo, that entire promo, without a beat, I mean, he is just right on it. Even the insults, I mean, everything is it's perfectly packaged. Like just that. And then on commentary, he was on a whole nother level as well. The things he was saying about KO, like I can't even remember half of them. If you just go back and just watch the commentary, the little things that he say, I mean, at some point you hear kind of Cole or what's his name just laughing, just because of some of the things that comes out of his mouth. He almost called him like he called him something like he's an I can't even figure it. It's something that had to do with Otis and him being on an Otis diet type, but it was a really line. Yeah,
that's what John just posted in the chat.
Or did he say that? Hold on. Oh yes, exactly. But he had a term he actually used though. Otis on a diet. Maybe that's exactly the words he said. But all types of lines. But not just that. Although he didn't wrestle, he's also shown that he can get in the ring and do the work.
Absolutely.
So this guy is becoming like the perfect heel. Not the person I would ever, like or cheer for. Because every time he was saying stuff, I was just saying, dude, you're such a jackass. You're such a dumb, like I just I was just calling him insults in my own house as I was watching it. You know what I mean? Like you're such a dick, like everything that just came out of your mouth was just like, it just makes you just not want to like him, but that automatically
working is intended, bro.
Yeah.
Working is intended. He's a heel. Come on.
He is. And perfect at it. And if it end up being KO as they're starting this tournament for the United States Championship, man, what would be interesting is what Logan will do for that belt. We pay no attention to belts, especially not that belt. But kind of watching with this tournament and what was going on between him and KO is definitely got me interested. It's got me interested. I actually want KO to win this whole, but we got to see. There's also a mystery NXT partner that's going to come in too. So,
doesn't he have a hand injury? Didn't WWE say that KO has a couple of broken bones in his hand or something?
Yeah, and that definitely was played within the match as well, but was able to handle himself easily,
Good.
still with that. So
and honestly, yeah, if he's working with broken bones in his hand, then I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that just shows what kind of dedication Kevin Owens has, man. We've known it for years, and yeah, this guy is just he's awesome. Absolutely. Week
I
in,
mean,
week out.
and John is right when he was talking about Too Sweet as how he was selling his hand injury, because like when you watch that match, there were certain times I was ready to see him like almost forget that idea that selling that gimmick or whatever. But he just remembered it at all point, even when he was doing all his moves off the ring. It's like, wow. So you gotta respect that. Outside of that,
Absolutely.
man, that was it for me. Watching both of those shows, and again get a chance to watch a little bit of Dynamite.
Did you happen to see the Christian Cage promo
I did see
with
that.
Adam Copeland?
I did.
How about the guys at TBS for completely fucking up the censor
Yes,
button, huh?
they did. I was like, wow, that actually got through.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't get the go fuck yourself, but they got half of what Christian said following it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome that next week Dynamite debuts in Montreal, and we are getting Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for the TNT title. And of course, we're going to get some sort of a fuck finish, I'm sure, but it'll end up leading to them having a match at World's End. And quite frankly, all kayfabe aside, next Wednesday is December 6th, which just so happens to be an unobserved national holiday, also known as Sin City Steve's birthday. So thank you, Tony Khan, for the birthday present of Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage for my birthday. I appreciate it.
That is perfect. I'm assuming you took the day off from work too, right? So you're
Of
gonna
course.
be okay. I just want to make sure. The whole day is gonna be planning for this show in Montreal.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, you'll give a little bit time to it.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, you know what? I might actually try to watch that because I am interested to see where they're gonna go with that whole thing. I haven't watched the whole. In fact, because I haven't been keeping up with AEW, I probably hadn't watched it since Adam showed up at the pay-per-view. So I had, so I hadn't been watching it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I mean, I don't have time. My bad. So
come on, Mr. Worldwide. Shit.
But I had literally asked the question. I was like, by the way, what is going on between Christian and Adam? What's the storyline up to? So when he finally came out, I was like, okay, I see where we're at now.
Also though, props to them for changing Luchasaurus's name. So he is no longer Luchasaurus. He is now Killswitch.
Oh, is that so?
Which honestly, I love the name. And also Christian Cage nicknamed Nick Wayne as the Prodigy Nick Wayne, which just so happened to be the nickname that he was using on the Indies for years anyway. And I'm sure American Bam Bam would say that he's still on the Indies right now, so it makes sense. But
definitely something American Bam Bam would say.
Oh, of course.
Well, cool, man. We'll have to check in and see how that all goes, and prepare for another week of wrestling. Outside of that, man, I think that is all we got for this talk. We thank everybody for just kind of listening and hanging out with us. We do got 3 Count coming up next. You got a chance to see what some of those topics were that we're going to discuss. And so we ask you to please join back in for that. And thanks for everybody for hanging out with us. And we always love when you do. When you can, try to come on live with us every Sunday. We hop on about 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, if you happen to be up somewhere, we only hold you for about 40 minutes. And then after that, we go into 3 counts, about another 40 minutes, and then we let you go to sleep. So we try
right.
yeah, we don't hold you too long. All right. So with that, we'll see you next time. Take care and happy wrestling.